Once upon a time, in a small town in the USA, there lived a kind young man named David. David lived in a small white house with a red roof. It was warm and quiet. He lived there with his mother, Mrs. Miller. David's father had died when he was just a baby. His mother raised him all alone. She worked hard as a cleaner, sometimes washing clothes, sometimes cooking in other people's homes. She never gave up. Even though life was hard, David's mother always smiled. She never let David feel he had less than others. She bought him books, gave him good food, and always told him, "One day, you will be a great man." Years passed. David studied hard. He got a good job in an office and became a respected man in town. His mother was very proud of him. One day, David met a beautiful woman named Lucy. Lucy had shiny brown hair and a bright smile. She was charming and fun. They talked a lot and laughed often. Soon, David and Lucy fell in love and got married. After marriage, Lucy came to live in David's house. At first, everything was fine, but slowly, things began to change. Lucy did not like David's mother. "She talks too much," Lucy complained. "She is old and slow. Why does she always live with us?" she would say. David was surprised. "She is my mother. She raised me. I love her." But Lucy didn't care. Every day she became more angry and more rude to Mrs. Miller. She would not talk to her nicely. She stopped helping her. She wanted David to send his mother away. One evening, David came home tired from work. "Lucy," he called. "Can I have a glass of water, please?" Lucy sat on the couch, her arms crossed. She didn't move. "There is water in the kitchen. Take it yourself," she said coldly. David was shocked. "What happened?" he asked softly. "I'm tired of living with your mother," Lucy shouted. "I will not cook. I will not serve. You must choose. Either your mother leaves this house, or I do." David stood there, speechless. He looked at Lucy, then looked at his mother, who was quietly sitting in her room. She had heard everything but said nothing. Her eyes were full of tears. That night, David went to bed without food. He lay on his bed, his heart heavy. He couldn't sleep. David's mind was full of thoughts. He remembered his childhood. He remembered walking to school holding his mother's hand. He remembered her waiting outside his classroom in the rain. He remembered her saving money so he could buy new shoes. He remembered her feeding him while she stayed hungry. "She gave me everything," David thought. "And now, Lucy wants me to throw her away like trash." But he also loved Lucy. He had chosen her. She was his wife. She was beautiful, young, and full of dreams.
What should I do? Why do I have to choose between them? David turned from side to side all night. His heart was confused. His brain hurt. He finally closed his eyes with tears on his face. He walked to the dining room. Lucy was already there. "I hope you have made your choice," she said without looking up. David took a deep breath. "Yes, I have made a choice." He looked straight into her eyes. "I will not leave my mother. She is old. She needs me. If you love me, you will try to live with her." Lucy laughed coldly. "She will die soon. You can kill her now, and then we'll live in peace." David stared at her. "What are you saying?" "I am serious," Lucy said. "Take her to the mountains, push her off a cliff. Then she's gone forever." David's face turned pale. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He stood up silently and left for work. His boss asked him for a report, but he couldn't focus. "Kill my mother?" he whispered to himself. "Is that the only way?" He thought of his mother again, her warm smile, her rough hands, the way she kissed his forehead when he had a fever. But I love Lucy. What if she leaves me? What if I'm alone forever? His heart beat fast. He felt lost. The thoughts in his head were loud and wild. Maybe I should do it, he thought once. Maybe I should end this problem. He shook his head. No, I can't. But maybe I must. Lucy was in a good mood. She had cooked pasta, chicken, and chocolate cake. I made your favorite dinner, she said with a sweet smile. So, are you ready? David looked at her with a blank face. Yes, he said slowly. I will take her to the mountains tomorrow. Lucy clapped her hands. Perfect! We can start a new life after that. David walked to his room. He sat down next to his mother. Mom, let's go for a ride tomorrow. Just you and me. To the mountains. His mother smiled. Okay, son, I will come with you. David drove slowly. The sky was cloudy. The mountain road was empty. His mother looked out of the window and said, I know, David. David looked at her, surprised. Know what, Mom? I know what you are planning to do, she said softly. David's hands began to shake on the steering wheel. You're going to push me off the cliff. It's okay. David's eyes filled with tears. But before you do that, his mother continued, be careful. The cliff is sharp. The rocks are hard. Don't fall too. I don't want you to get hurt. David stopped the car. He couldn't drive anymore. He looked at his mother. She smiled at him, the same soft smile she had always given him since he was a boy. He broke down crying. David turned the car around. He didn't say anything. He drove back home. He held his mother's hand tightly the whole way. When they reached home, Lucy was waiting at the door with a big smile. So, it's done? She asked. David looked at her and said, Yes, it's done. What do you mean? Lucy asked. I made my decision, he said. You must leave this house. Lucy's face changed. What? You chose her over me? Yes, David said firmly. She gave me life. She gave me love. You wanted me to throw her away like she meant nothing? That is not love, Lucy. Lucy shouted and cried, but David stayed strong. He asked her to leave. That evening, the house was quiet again. David and his mother sat together. They ate dinner quietly. There was no shouting, no crying. David looked at his mother. I'm sorry, Mom, he whispered. She smiled and patted his hand. You chose the right path, my son. From that day on, David and his mother lived in peace. They didn't have everything, but they had each other. And that was enough. Moral of the story. True love means respect, care, and sacrifice. A person who truly loves you will never ask you to hurt someone who loves you too.